Zach?
We canceled.
Canceled?
We drove all the way here. Sunny Southern National.
Looks sunny to me. What?
But hey, rain's coming. We're here at sunny Southern National, and we're canceled because of rain. To me, you know, you feel this. It's a little wet, but it's drying. You know, drying up. The track looks fine. There's a couple puddles here and there, but you know, the rain's coming later. It's a 30% chance of rain. It's going to downpour. Track's going to be soaked. There's no way we're racing. It's going to be a tsunami, you know.
I tell you what, we put on a good showing, but now we've gone 3 weeks without starting a race. So it's rough. I don't know. I guess I'll make the Hickory response when I get home, but we're canceled here today, which sucks because we were fast. Even though it feels like we're crawling around this place because we're basically running a limited late model in the late model class here. Sorry.
What are you gonna do?
So that sucked. I thought we were going to have a good car at Southern National, and then the rain had other plans. They do race again in a month on a Sunday again, so I'm not sure what our schedule looks like when it comes to a month out. Potentially we'll go back there and race on a Sunday again. Now, if you've been following the channel for about a month, then you probably know the situation that we got into at Hickory Motor Speedway a couple weeks ago. Long story short, we got in a wreck on the first lap. We came in, tried to repair our car. We went back out there and we were overheating, so we didn't have the chance to continue in the race. So we thrashed on the car, get it ready for race 2, all for Hickory Motor Speedway. They tell us that we cannot race. All because of a non-written rule that states that you have to have 20 laps on your tires in order to be eligible to race on that set of tires in the second race. Now there's the option to buy scuff tires if you don't complete 20 laps, and then you can go out there and compete in the second race. But none of this information was relayed to us. It was not mentioned in the driver's meeting. So we go out there and we're ready to race, and then we're not allowed to. So obviously there's some frustration. There's been some drama behind this. I'm sure a lot of you already know about it, but just in case you don't, go ahead and watch this full video right here, and it'll give you a more in-depth thing about it. But basically I'm going to be following up on the whole situation right now. I don't want to keep this too long. So now there was another late model race this past weekend, and the Friday before the race, they came out with a new set of rules. The first new rule they added is exactly what we wanted, exactly what should have been in place from the start if this rule was ever going to be there. It basically gives you 2 different options on what you can do if you ever come across a situation like I came across. That's good. The second part, which I have an issue with, and it's not sitting well with me, is rule number 2. So rule number 2, Hickory Motor Speedway management will continue to work hard and strive for a level playing field for all competitors. Professional behavior and representation by all drivers/teams will be required for Hickory Motor Speedway management. This professional behavior and representation includes on track, at the track, on the speedway grounds, social media posts, and any other representation towards Hickory Motor Speedway, track management, officials, employees, etc. Violation of these rules could result in fines, season point deductions, purse, and/or suspensions. This rule is not in any way to silence social media, but to continue a positive move towards short track racing and attempt to slow/stop misrepresentations made towards all short tracks. Now they turned off comments for this post on their Facebook, and to be honest, I'm not really sure why they did that, because if they go off that rule, then probably everybody in that comment section would be owing them a fine, because that's honestly a stupid rule. Now, I've not spoken to anyone from Hickory Motor Speedway's management. Unless you're blind, the 2 biggest people in this situation are Landon Huffman and I, and we both made YouTube videos and they both got a lot of views, and people were dogging the track. We didn't misrepresent anything, not at all. All we did was share our experience. So is that not allowed? Because it was a negative experience. They also talk about misrepresentation about short tracks. There's nothing being misrepresented about short tracks. We document our experiences at these tracks, and we had a negative experience. That's not all short tracks. That is your short track. That is Hickory Motor Speedway that we are talking about. And by the way, with everything that I've been saying and everything that I'm going to continue to say, I still plan on going back to Hickory at some point this year. First of all, this entire thing could have been done if you just would have took complete accountability in the initial post after we made our videos. Yeah, there would be some people that are kind of loud and you know, still on you a little bit, but it wouldn't be this. It wouldn't be nearly as bad. I would have respected y'all a lot more. Now, there's a reason that this rule hasn't been in place before, and honestly, I think it's because that late model stock cars have never had this much coverage before. Now, I'm sure if you watch my videos, you probably watch some other creators, because there's creators now at the track. There are people going around and documenting their experiences at the track, off the track, anything late model related. We're making videos and they're gaining traction. Obviously, the car store just got some new ownership, so they're doing well. There's going to be a late model race before the All-Star race this year. I don't think that the eyes have ever been on late model stock cars more than they have been this year, and I think it's going to continue to be like this. So the thing is that if something like this happened in the past, everybody would just carry on. It would keep happening. And there's no accountability to be held for nothing like this. So when you screw up, it's just, well, it doesn't matter. Put a sock in it. It doesn't matter what happens to the driver. But now there's accountability for stuff like this. Obviously, we saw it with Crooked County Speedway in December. I'm still interested to see their car count whenever they start up. See, the situation is a little bit different than Crooked County Speedway. I think that promoter and that whole thing there is just a completely horribly ran operation. That is not the case with Hickory. Hickory just needs to take accountability accountability, man. And they should have from the start and never would have got to this point. And this rule is honestly laughable. Like, you guys knew you're gonna catch a lot of shit for that. That's why you turned off the comments. And like I said a little bit in my last video, we, as in Landon Huffman and I, we did not bash you in any way. We didn't bash Hickory Motor Speedway. We just shared our experience. We are putting pressure on you to be better. You have the opportunity to take this negative experience and become better from it, but instead you try to silence any criticism or hate that you get. You need to be able to take accountability, take a step back and say, hey, I messed up. Now, Andy Petrie tweeted to me, and I gotta say that I respect him a lot before I say this, but this might honestly be the worst take about this entire situation that I've seen. But there's a small percentage, but in this thing, a small percent is still a lot of people that think the same way as this. This is a hill not worth dying for. Be grateful for the historic track to compete on weekly. Please don't air this out on here. We're all on the same team. I gotta be honest, if this didn't come from him, I would think that it was a Hickory burner account. It's hard to even take that seriously, right? Like, why would I be grateful to come and spend my money at this facility knowing if it's gonna be ran like that, or knowing that certain things can happen and there's gonna be no accountability taken? Like, why would you do that? Like, we spend too much money to come out here and get screwed. That's what it comes down to. It's just so expensive to go out here and compete weekly. It's not fair, and for it to happen once is already one too many when it comes to racing. He also says in his tweet, please don't air it out. What do you think would happen if we didn't air this out? Do you think this would nearly be as big of a deal as it is now? No, obviously not. Do you think that there would even be a rule set in place next time because of this? Maybe, but probably not. Everything would just be carrying on. This goes for all tracks that anybody races at. I really encourage you, if you race late models or any other division or anything like that, you should honestly be building your social media. You should be making videos, whether it be just be TikToks or YouTube videos. Like, get into it. I promise you, there are benefits to building an audience. There really is. And now with the way that the whole scene is now, I don't think there's ever been a bigger opportunity, and it's not too late to start. But now, if everybody starts doing that, not just a few people, could you imagine the pressure that would be on tracks to be better? In a way, they would almost feel like they have to be perfect, right? But look, I don't plan on talking about this anymore. And to be honest, I really wasn't even gonna make this video after even saying that I was gonna make it on Twitter. I was kind of heated when I made my tweet saying that I was gonna make a video about it. But I figured since Southern National rained out, I could still address it. It's very frustrating, and it feels pathetic that we're still talking about it at this point. And any negative experiences that are in my video, I prefer that they actually come on the track and not something to do with the track management or any other BS that could take place off of the track. I want everything on my channel to be fully focused about the race and the practice and everything that goes on throughout the racing day on the track. Anything else that takes place off the track, I want it to be fun and funny or whatever I put in my videos. So this is the last time I plan on talking about this. Hopefully this is the end of it. I don't possibly see what could come out of it, but then again, I thought that this was completely done last week, and then they made a rule basically trying to tell us to shut up. But with that being said, I do have a small announcement to make. A lot of people have been asking me for the past couple years when this is going to happen, but finally we're going to be racing at South Boston Speedway on April 1st, this Saturday. Actually, as you're watching this video, I'm probably driving back from a test session at the track, and on top of that, we're going to a new track I've never been to personally, Wake County Speedway, on Friday night. So we're going to test Wednesday at South Boston, go to Wake County and race there Friday and Friday night, and then come back to South Boston on Saturday and race on Saturday. So I'm super excited. I've always wanted to race at these two tracks, and I'm knocking them both out in the same weekend. So it's going to be a busy weekend. I plan on splitting up the races into two different vlogs. So hopefully, no rain, no BS, nothing else that takes place. We should have 2 videos next week. But with that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.